There are reports that Joel Embiid wants to join the New York Knicks, and this is new reports. We are jumping right into it. No time wasted. We know what we're talking about. We've talked about it before, and we're going to jump right back into it, guys. So welcome back to Knicks Digest. My name is Chris, and you know what this is about. This is about Joel Embiid. Chris Broussard recently came out with a report that there is a scuttlebutt, last time I'll ever say that word, around the league that Joel Embiid wants to join the Knicks. First things first, I don't know what the hell a scuttlebutt means, and I never will, and I never am going to look it up. But the important stuff is here, and let me just show it again for emphasis, that Joel Embiid wants to join the New York Knicks. Are you kidding me? Wow. Okay, not the most surprising news in the world. I know that we're going to see reports that Joel Embiid may want to join the New York Knicks, but this is coming after some information. James Harden, as of today, Thursday, October 19th, missed out on training camp. Once again, he has been in and out of training camp. However, this is apparently due to a personal reason. It does not fully matter. Everyone knows that James Harden wants to be on the Los Angeles Clippers regardless. James Harden, without question, is the second best player in the Philadelphia 76ers, and they will not get back a star that can help Joel Embiid win the NBA Finals. There will not be a star that Philadelphia can get to help Joel Embiid win the NBA Finals if they are to trade James Harden. He is their last hope for Joel Embiid to win in Philadelphia, and Joel Embiid has indicated that he wants to win a championship, whether that is in Philadelphia with the 76ers or elsewhere. I mean, if this is not a sign that Joel Embiid is going to leave the team, then I don't know what is. The guy is out of here. And one of the many, many reasons why Joel Embiid could end up on the New York Knicks, or, well, let's say a new reason, because we already know some of the old reasons that we're obviously going to go over again. But first things first, look at this, the Skechers deal. Julius Randle recently just joined Skechers, and now Joel Embiid is nearing a deal to become Skechers' star pitchman. Expected to launch a new basketball division with a class of NBA players. Embiid, Knicks All-Star Julius Randle, and Terrence Mann are expected to sign with the brand as well. We know Julius is. And also just a fun little fact, the Philadelphia 76ers want Terrence Mann on the team. And if you don't know where Terrence Mann is from, I'm going to answer that for you. He is a New Yorker. So many New York connections to Joel Embiid right now. And the fact is, I think that Chris Broussard coming out and saying this, that there is a thought, I'm not saying the word that he said because it just sounds ridiculous. Fine, I'll say it because I'm excited. There is a scuttlebutt that Joel Embiid wants to join the New York Knicks. I mean, here's what we know, and we've been over this before. Joel Embiid in the offseason lives in New York. He has a house in New York. He recently got married in Long Island. At his wedding was William Wesley and Leon Rose, two of the high-level decision makers. I mean, Leon Rose is the guy who's calling the shots. He's the godfather. He calls the shots with the New York Knicks. William Wesley is probably his most trusted right-hand man. Those two were invited to Joel Embiid's wedding. Joel Embiid, a CAA guy. We know that Leon Rose loves his CAA guys, like Julius Randle was for many, many years, like Jalen Brunson is. I mean, the CAA connection is there. He's already in the Northeast, and that is important because when you think about a guy like Joel Embiid who's 29, he's recently married, he now has a kid. It is going to get only harder for Joel Embiid to uproot his family for his career. We saw this happen with Damian Lillard. He didn't want to leave, and one of the reasons is because his family was happy in Portland. Obviously, he's now on the Milwaukee Bucks, but that's really just, I don't know. He spent enough time there, and his kids were still young enough. But at the end of the day, it gets harder to move cities, to uproot your life when you have other people whose lives are vastly affected. When you have your wife, when you have your kids, it is a lot harder to say, well, we're moving, pack your bags, we're going across the country to, like, Oklahoma City, we're going to Portland, we're going to Sacramento. Obviously, teams that are not going to trade for Joel Embiid, they're just, for some reason, the first three that came to my mind. But the team that Joel Embiid would want to go on if he were to leave the Philadelphia 76ers, in my mind, is no doubt it is the New York Knicks. I think the only team that has an argument is the Miami Heat because of his friendship with Jimmy Butler. But that's sort of a stretch. Pat Riley was not at Joel Embiid's wedding. The wedding that was in Long Island. I mean, there are enough reasons to talk about why Joel Embiid wants would want to be on the New York Knicks and all these connections that he has to the New York Knicks. But there's also a disconnection with the Philadelphia 76ers. James Harden and Daryl Morey had an incredible relationship that started in Houston. Morey got Harden to Philadelphia. Harden and him were so thrilled to see each other. There was that video of them hugging each other and just being so excited to be back together. Now James Harden hates Daryl Morey and doesn't trust him at all. That's not a good look for Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid's probably now thinking, should I trust Daryl Morey? Probably not. If James Harden doesn't trust him anymore, and James Harden is Daryl Morey's favorite guy, I'm not really trusting this guy that much anymore. Also, Harden wants to leave. There goes our second best player. We don't have another bona fide all-star on this team. As good as Tyrese Maxey and DeAnthony Melton and Tobias Harris are as role players, Tyrese Maxey obviously might make that all-star jump. We could see it happen. But I don't think Tyrese Maxey is going to make a jump to being the second best player on a championship team, especially in an Eastern Conference that has the Milwaukee Bucks, that has the Philadelphia 76ers. And in a Yahoo Sports article that was published, I believe last Friday on the 13th, they were discussing why there is no reason why Joel Embiid should not want to leave the Philadelphia 76ers, how they are basically hopeless against the top two teams in the East. And let's just take a look at this, because we may have seen this before, but we're going to go back to it. It is from Media Day. It's just another warning sign, as they say here. If every year is going to be the same thing, that doesn't put you closer to winning a championship. That gets frustrating. But I also believe it doesn't matter who's on the team. I'm always going to have a chance to win, which is a testament to how good Joel Embiid is, and he's not completely wrong. But then the last sentence of the lip service, I'm very excited. The last sentence of that statement is lip service, but the rest is a worrisome extension of what Embiid said in July when he told a crowd at the Uninterrupted Sports Film Festival, I just want to win a championship, wherever it takes. I don't know where that's going to be, whether it's Philly or anywhere else. I mean, Giannis said that, and then the Bucks traded for Damian Lillard to make sure that Giannis is all happy. And now Giannis is thrilled. He's having a great time for himself. He got Damian Lillard on his team. 76ers don't have the assets to go out and get a Damian Lillard level player. There also is not a Damian Lillard level player. If the 76ers make a blockbuster trade, they're going to be losing the best guy in that trade in James Harden. They're not getting Paul George. They're certainly not getting Kawhi Leonard. They're getting Terrence Mann and 2 first-rounders if they're lucky. Obviously cap filler too, like, Marcus Morris, guys like that, just to even out Harden's salary so the trade can go through. It's not winning you a championship. Joel Embiid's 29 years old. He's not going to stick around for a rebuild. That's basically what he's saying. He's saying that he believes in himself, that he's one of the best players in the NBA. He just won MVP last year. So he believes that wherever he has a chance to win because of how great he is. That's also not a great look, because he's also sort of saying, yeah, well, even if the 76ers aren't good enough, I'm him. So I could do it. But, you don't want to have to carry a team, especially when you're a guy who's had a bunch of injuries in his past. Joel Embiid has had a lot of stress injuries. He's played a lot of heavy minutes. And it really is one of those situations where I don't think he's going to want to have to carry the Philadelphia 76ers for much longer. And he's not exactly carrying them. But if they lose James Harden, you best believe that he is going to have to do something nuclear in the playoffs for them to even make the Eastern Conference Finals. I think the Knicks would beat them without James Harden, if I'm being completely honest. Because they're not going to get even value back when it comes to star for star. They're not getting a star player in return for James Harden. And that is really what's going to kill the 76ers. They don't have the assets to flip for another star. They got Simmons. They flipped him for Harden. They cannot flip Harden for another star. This is the end of the rope. And I do think that means we are about to see Joel Embiid request a trade where he very obviously pinpoints the New York Knicks as his preferred destination. I think we are on the brink of seeing this. It might not happen this season. There is a chance this could happen next summer now that the season's right around the corner. The Knicks season starts in 6 days. 76ers season starts in, I think, also 6 days. So I really do think that this might not happen this season. It would be really hard to believe that Joel Embiid gets traded mid-season after winning MVP. That's very hard to see. I don't think he'll go back-to-back in MVP because he's going to have to save himself for the playoffs to carry the 76ers if James Harden does not play for them, whether it's by sitting out or because he's on the Clippers or another team. But it would be the Clippers. And that is what we have to say on that. I had to talk about this. It just came out that Chris Broussard said that. It is so important to talk about this Joel Embiid stuff because he is the most realistic star target outside of Donovan Mitchell, who does not fit with this team at all. that could possibly end up on the New York Knicks, and the man just won MVP, so we'll finish this off by taking a quick look at his stats because they are something else. 33 points, 10 rebounds, 4 assists, 55% from the field, 33% from three. As a guy who's mainly going to do his work in the post, Joel Embiid is a monster. What he would mean to New York with his attitude going into MSG, the crowd would eat it up. They would love him. He would be one of the best players to put on a Knick jersey. He'd be one of the best players in Knick history. The second he steps out on that court, he is that good. He is that guy. He can win you a championship. And the Knicks are in a position where they could land him. Is it the best move? We'll talk about that another time. But for now, just remember, there is a real chance that Joel Embiid could end up on the New York Knicks. So have a great day, guys. And remember, go Knicks.